Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Mike here with the watch list video for Monday, November 6th. This is the SPY chart. It is my opinion that, as we were coming up to retest the 200-day from below, and then we gapped up after the FOMC, it's my opinion that this last 2 days have just been a squeeze um, because of all the people that probably got short below the 200-day. I don't think everything's all better in the world, right? Some people think we're facing World War III. So if you think this move doesn't make sense, a lot of times it does when you think about is probably just short covering. Again, I've said this a million times. I don't make any money off predicting where the SPY is going to go tomorrow or the next week or anything. I'm an intraday trader, which is probably a good segue into throwing this up. I know everyone in chat mostly knows this, but we might have a new member or two, so I'm going to put it up there. The short version, I look for intraday long setups on stocks that are recently in play. So that'll be this watch list video. It'll be stocks that are recently in play. Most of you understand I don't have a very long watch list today because this. Well, let me get this out of the way. Freeze that if you haven't read that yet. I even added a little bit to it, a little extra humor in there. So if you want to read that, freeze it and read it. The reason I don't have a lot of stocks on watch, and I know many of you will know this, well, when the market is already up 5 days in a row, big, right? First of all, you're not going to have a lot of bounce plays. Bounce plays are stocks that have been beaten up several days. I'm looking for a bounce back up. Well, there's really nothing on my bounce play scanner because of this, right? Also, I like long setups. Well, we've got a ton of charts that have made massive moves just like the SPY, and so everything seems extended. So not a great environment. This is one of the times, that swing traders are doing a lot better than I am because I start each day in cash, right? And you've had gaps up in the stock market running. Anyway, so long story short, it's been hard to find stocks to watch on Monday. I always, at this point of the video, like to go into like my favorite call of the day from the last session, which was Friday. Carvana, CVNA was really strong. And there is the opening candle. Had the gap down and then ripped. So as it started to come back down, I'll slide this over here. Matt D, who I think makes every highlight video anymore. If you're not following him in chat, you're doing it wrong. Gave the CVNA 5s pullback idea, flush of 32. Basically our whole number flush 5s buy zone setup, right? And I'll scroll this over if I can. It's not letting me. That's weird. I'm not sure why. Maybe if I zoom in a little bit. Bear with me. That was way harder than it needed to be. Anyway, so 5s buy zone, pullback flush of 32. Now we'll go to the chart. I scrolled it over. That was at 10:15, which is what the chart looked like when Matt posted that. As you guys know, we don't allow any posts. Hey, I'm long XYZ, right? It has to be ahead of the setup actually triggering. So Matt always does that. Great job. 5s buy zone is between the 20 and the 8 moving averages, or the red and the blue line. And then there's the whole number 32. So that's right in the 5s buy zone. So that would put the entry anywhere below 32. And then I'll scroll over, and what did it do? It went down to 31.78. So beautiful. And the stop would have been below the 520. So beautiful call by Matt. And I'll just show you. So there was the entry right in there, and it ended up going up to like 35. What a great call. The risk was, I want to say, like 25 cents, and it went up $3. That's great R, right? Anyway, that's all I have on that. That was my favorite. I thought cleanest call from Friday. What are we watching again? Remember, stocks in play. Howl, HOWL, big volume, pretty strong close. PARA had a gap up and a strong close. Again, kind of extended, but we're going to watch it. ALDX had the big breakout on, that would have been Wednesday, then a pullback on Thursday, and really a very narrow range, boring day on Friday. But I still want to watch it. Maybe it's found a bottom, and maybe it's up from here. PCT, big volume, and a pretty strong close. We'll see if that has any follow through in it. DKNG. Big breakout. The reason I like it, I'll put a horizontal line there at the high from whatever this day was. I'm still terrible at manipulating these charts. I'm just not used to them still after switching charts. What, like a year ago? Pretty sad, right? Actually, it was only a few months. Topped at basically 34.50, and then on Friday topped at 34.21. So the thinking is this held up really well. If we break Friday's high on Monday, we might just rip through this recent high also. Okay, so you have a stacked catalyst scenario. Fubo gapped up, sold off from the open harshly, right? But then kind of worked its way back up throughout the rest of the session. You got to think maybe over Friday's high, you knock down this catalyst and maybe visit this high. Who knows? It doesn't seem like a great trader though. Expedia, big gap up and a very strong close. BTAI had this nice run back here that topped out at 478 and then Friday's high 472. You all can imagine we opened below Friday's high. Then we've got a possible break at 472, then 478, and then maybe a push to this 502 high, and then maybe up into the gap. So I like this setup. It's probably my favorite. That's BTAI. OSTK is overstock. I liked it more if it would have closed really close to the highs, which it didn't. But anyway, the high is 1752. We get through that. You got the most recent high here of 1809. So picture it kind of breaking this high. We might just test that 1809 high. And you can kind of see why I had trouble finding stuff. Again, because of the overall market action. Last one, ALLO. Nice volume breakout on some conference or something, some presentation. The reason that this one's kind of interesting to me, it's about 30% short and appears to maybe have bottomed here, so it could be up from here, right? The high of the day, 365, closed at 350. So this one over 365 might be one of those to watch. We talked about watching, kind of ignoring the gap playlist in the opening 5 or 10 minutes to stay out of the train wreck that the algos create now on morning gappers, right? So we talked about maybe looking at some stuff from these videos the next morning at the open instead. This could be one of those candidates. This one and maybe BTAI. And one more reminder, Clinton gave FTNT, well, I don't want to say he gave it. He said, hey, this could be one of those overdone gaps down to watch. He said that in pre-market. I want to make that a ritual for you guys, for all of us. In pre-market, let's share a couple that might be meeting the parameters of our new overdone to the downside experiment, right? We're looking for stocks that are gapping down too far for a potential nice trade. Clinton's been kind of focused on those lately. FTNT, I didn't trade it, but certainly a great example. Think Solar Edge not that long ago, Mattel not that long ago. Those kind of meet the parameters. So let's really make it a habit in pre-market to discuss, hey, who's got any, what could be the overdone to the downside gaps on stocks, and we're going to add those to our gap list as well. We won't know those, right, until Monday morning in the pre-market. All right, I'm done babbling. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. By the way, if you're watching this on Saturday, we do roll the clocks back tonight, or technically Sunday morning, but we get an extra hour this weekend. Some of you out of the United States folks might not realize that, so our starting time will change for you. All right, anyway, I'm done babbling. Have a great weekend.